Hi guys, I am going to do an update video on baby Azariah today. So I thought that I would do that here now. I'm gonna grab my coffee in this messy room. It's not super messy actually. That's just doing laundry though. I think I'll sit down here. Yes, so I know some of you are going to say something about the zit on my face. Yes, I have a zit on my face. Yes, I know it. I don't really care. Remember, this is real life mama, real life video type thing. Most people, if they're hanging out in their house, they're not going to worry about things on their face. Although some people do, and I don't know. Yeah. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk about baby Azariah. Tomorrow is a big day for him. And so I'm going to try to get this video up as soon as possible. I'm going to try to make this the video for the day, rearrange a couple things. There's a couple things going on with him. So one of those things is they have been watching throughout his head size and circumference, and it was really interesting because the neurosurgeon came in the other day and he explained it so well. So he had a brain bleed when he was really little, like a week old. He had a brain bleed. So that fills like the ventricles. So basically he explained it like a pool filter. So if you have a pool filter that gets clogged, it's hard for anything to push out. So the normal fluid that goes through can't get pushed out. It's like clogged because the blood's like in the brain, so it clogs. And that can cause hydrocephalus, but water on the brain does not necessarily mean hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus is when there is pressure in there that's like causing pressure to build, and that's when they need to take care of the situation. And there's different ways that they can do that. So just so you guys understand, currently, and he's been fairly stable with that. There hasn't been, he gets weekly ultrasounds of his head, and he also, they do a daily head circumference to measure to make sure like there's no growth or whatever in his head, that it's not expanding, anything like that. So that's where we're at with the head. The other two major things that we are dealing with right now is, they made a splint for one of his hands. He's had that for a couple weeks, and most likely this week they're going to be making a splint for the other hand. Basically it's just to hold it at, his one hand can hold at like a 90 like this, and then the other hand went further down, so they just kind of made a splint to make it so it goes like this, and he does not mind at all. You can put it on, there is no problem at all. It doesn't bother him at all. It's kind of like if you're holding his hand. It doesn't bother him. So because he did so well with the one, then they said that they would do the other one. They would just really want to see. We started like really slow, like we tried an hour the first day, and yeah, so we just have been increasing the time. So right now he has it on 4 hours, off 4 hours, on 4 hours, off 4 hours. And that's just what's been working for him, and it's been working. They actually he's actually at like a 90 at like a rest most of the time. So he's able to be at a 90 where there was kind of like the contracture there. So that's exciting. Let's see, lungs, we really need to be on the NIV. So we've gone back and forth to the ram cannula, which just doesn't provide like a seal enough around the nose to make the pressure enough. So he kind of struggles a little bit. He can be on it for a little bit, but then after a little bit, then he struggles. So at this point right now, it's kind of like we're trying to get him to grow. Let's not put the energy into him working to have to breathe. We want him to just be relaxed and having to breathe in order to help him grow, so he's not putting that energy into that area. So yeah, we basically go with the NIV, and we switch out between like a nasal mask and prongs, which go in the nose. But it's more of a seal that the prongs go in rather than the ram cannula. The seal isn't the same. Excuse me, the seal isn't the same. So that's kind of where we're at with like breathing. We just want to keep him comfortable so that he doesn't have to work so hard so he can grow. So eating is another thing. So he has the tube that goes down into his stomach, and overall he does really well with it. He gets very gassy, but that's because of the pressure that's going in through his nose into his stomach. He can get really gassy, and so we do little things like me holding him, moving him around, moving his legs around, all that type of stuff are great. Changing his positions, just trying to get some of that gas up. So every time they go to 1:30, then he tends to start getting spitty. So they're prolonging the amount of time that they have the 1:30 going over. That's what they were doing first. If that doesn't work, then they probably are going to cut back on the volume and up on the calories. So they can add, so what they do is they add calories to my breast milk or add calories to the formula depending on what he's getting that time. Pumping is very hard. Pumping can be really challenging, and I think there's like a really big stigma out there that I don't like, because this has always been the stigma. I'm in like these crunchy communities, right? And so a lot of times there's this, I don't know if that's the right word, people call me crunchy, so that's why I'm using it, natural minded type communities. And you know, breastfeeding is best, and you never have formula, and you never do this, because that's just, oh my goodness. But really, honestly, guys, even before this happened, it's really what's best for your baby. And if you have to look at the whole picture, because if that's going to stress you out and you're not going to be able to be present with your baby, or you're not going to be able to be present with your other children, then maybe that's not the best idea. For me and my situation, I've already talked to lactation and those types of things. It is best for me not to wake up every 3 hours throughout the night. That is not the best scenario for me, because then I can't think clearly in order to make the decisions that I need to make. I'm already up with him at nighttime a lot of times. So to add that on top of it is just a lot. It's not like I can just lay there with my baby and nurse my baby and go to sleep. It's very, very different pumping, very different. I'm trying all the things. I'm drinking oodles of water and body armor and eating lactation cookies and lactation tea and taking supplements and all the things, guys. But sometimes it's just not enough, or just in it, that's a hard, like, emotional thing. But I think that we as a society, as women, need to be okay with whatever works for the family, your family, and not worry about what others think or preconceive. For me, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever I can pump is like medicine to my son. If he needs to have formula, then he needs to have formula. I know some people asked about donor breast milk, and you have to be like qualifying, or I was told that he had to be a qualifying candidate in order to receive breast milk. I'm assuming that he probably isn't a qualifying candidate because he wasn't offered it. So yeah, I don't think that that is going to work for him and for the scenario, or whatever you want to call it, for the situation. I honestly didn't want to ask them why he wasn't qualifying. It's not the, what do they say? It's not where I want my heart and mind to go to be frustrated about breast milk formula / whatever. There was also some question if he was allergic to some things I was eating, specifically like dairy, and I wouldn't be able to control that in somebody else's breast milk as well. So if we don't want to, like, we wouldn't want to switch and then switch back. Anyway, that is a decision that the hospital has made, and I am okay with that, because that's just their policies, their whatever, and I'm doing the best that I can. Are there days that I struggle with the fact that I like have like this much breast milk and it's just nothing, and I'm like, here's my donation, and it's not very much? Yeah, it can be frustrating. At the same time, it's like I'm doing my best and I can just be thankful with my best. What I don't like is people saying all the things that I should try when I'm trying those things. And I think that we need to be cautious as a society, talking to other women, saying, well, have you done this and this and this and this? Because then it makes a woman feel more inadequate. Like, oh, well, maybe I haven't done that. Or maybe, you know, somebody is telling me, oh, you should really pump every 2 hours or whatever. But like in reality, if I'm pumping every 2 hours, then I can't hold my baby. If I'm pumping every 2 hours, I don't have that opportunity, because if I eat and I can't eat in the room, if I go and eat and then we do his cares, he has to be held for at least an hour at a time. I'm not going to have enough. If I literally was doing every 2 hours, I wouldn't have enough time to be able to hold him. So right now, that's more important to have that rather than like focus solely on timer's up. We need to do this right now. And I need to put my baby back in order to pump or whatever. Okay. So now that that's out there, there's also his heart, and that right now is at like the forefront of everything. So the heart plays a huge part into his lungs, because your heart pumps blood into your lungs. So that's could be a very contributing factor to some of the lung issues that he has going on right now. He has 2 heart conditions. One is a PDA, which normally closes by itself, and the other is a VSD. And so the VSD is a very large VSD. They are trying to decide what is the best way to go about surgery for him. And in order to make that decision, they need to do a heart cath. So it's a procedure. I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. And I don't know that I really have to understand all the ins and outs of it. I just know they go in through like the groin and they go up into the heart, and they are trying to read the way that the blood flow is going in and out of the heart. And so it's a diagnostic testing that they are going to be doing to know what is going to be the best way to fix his VSD. So that said, when they do that, they may have the opportunity to be able to close the PDA. We do not know that. We probably will find out today or tomorrow. Another thing is she wants me, so I'll be quick. The other thing, so there may be, I let her in. The paper, I see. Just the printer. So they're just trying to see the best way to do that. Hopefully they could close the PDA when that happens. It's serious because he's a little boy, right? So I'm telling you this because he is having the echo today, and then they are going to try to make a plan, I think within the next couple days, to do that as soon as tomorrow. So they have to see like appointment wise and stuff, like who's in the cath lab. It's not done in surgery, it's done in the cath lab on the cardiac unit. So that is what's going to be happening. If you could be praying for that, that would be absolutely wonderful, and I will update you guys as soon as I know either way. If he gets out of the cath lab and I don't have time to make a video, I might just put a little post up there. You would like to watch a movie right now? Are you tired because you had a rough night? Okay, 1 minute, please. My 2.5-year-old had a very rough night. I don't know if she was, I guess she's been having some bad dreams, so she was snuggling me last night for a while, and she just, yeah, a little sweet pea, huh? A little sweetheart. So anyhow, that would be great. I can always put it on I don't know what it's called, a post, is that what it's called? Like where I can just write on my YouTube page. So it might be a short or it might be a post as opposed to the video, but I will let you guys know as I know what's going on, so you guys know how to pray and that he made it through or whatever's going on. So if you could be praying for that, that would be absolutely wonderful. Have a blessed and wonderful day.
Azariah, what are you doing, sweet baby boy? Did you have a good nap? Did you have a good nap? And you just did your breakfast?